everyone, Sally here, and welcome to Menopause Mindset Monday on this glorious, beautiful, scorching hot day in September. How are you doing on Facebook? How are you doing on Instagram? Lovely to see you here. So this is the place to get inspiration and motivation on how to have a much better menopause and midlife transition using the power of our mindsets and our perspectives. So, hope you're doing well. So this is the final video in our short series about menopause, midlife, and business and entrepreneurship. So today's episode or video title is called Master Your Money Mindset. And this is, of course, my favorite subject because I love anything to do with the mind. So please watch to the end because that's where all the juice is. That's where all the juicy stuff is. And that's where I'm going to give you my 3 mindset reframes, how to really help you to reframe your perspective and to master your money mindset. So, why money mindset and menopause and midlife? There is a correlation. There is definitely an association because I feel that at midlife, it's really about letting go of the past and all of those codes and all of those imprints that we gather about ourselves in childhood. Midlife is an opportunity to really do an audit and to let them all go. And it's a time when we are sort of carving out a new identity for ourselves in a way. And we just want to ditch and drop all of that old baggage from the past, really. We want to live life based on our own values, based on what we want for ourselves, not based on what we've been told by parents from the past. It's old news, it's done and dusted, it's sort of not very interesting anymore. And now we are ready to fly the emotional nest and to just create and design a life that we want for ourselves, really. So one of the interesting things about midlife is that usually we are seeking more comfort and we are seeking more security. And that is why we tend to look at our money situation a bit more, because money will be able to buy us a bit more comfort and a bit more security as we go into midlife. So that's another reason why we tend to do that audit at midlife. But there's also something else particularly related to menopause that I cannot wait to share with you. This is a really big link. When I was writing this masterclass, this link kind of came to me, and I'm really looking forward to sharing this with you. So awesome. So very often my clients will come to me for RTT sessions for money blocks because they realize that there's something psychological going on under the surface. So some of them might be in debt, some of them might be have gambling addictions, some of them might reach a glass ceiling in their income and not be able to overcome that particular income ceiling. Some of them think about money all the time. Some of them, almost have this OCD like behavior with money. And it's time to clear it out. Yes. So what we do in RTT is we look at the language that you created. We look at the images, the imagery that you've got in your mind, the sort of patterns and imprints that you're carrying around with you that's not really helping you move forward in your money life. You're reaching a certain ceiling and then you're not able to bypass it. So what we want to do is turn that around, and we want to help you create more positive association with money so that you can enjoy money, you cannot feel guilty about it, and you move towards it, because your mind will always take you away from pain and towards pleasure. And if you are associating pain with money or earning money or doing what you need to do to earn money, your mind is just going to take you or move you away from it. So we really do need to create those positive associations with money. All right, so let's have a quick look then at what are money blocks. Because you hear that word bandied around all the time, but what are they? So money blocks are certain beliefs and particularly that then translate as feelings that you have that block the flow of money coming into your life. They block the flow energetically and they block the flow physically. So in other words, a money block is a negative subconscious belief about money that limits you from achieving your conscious desires. So on the one hand over here, you've got this conscious goal, this conscious desire that you want to achieve a certain amount of money, either per month or per year or whatever it might be. So this is what you want over here. This is the conscious goal. But there's something that is stopping you from reaching that conscious goal. No matter how hard you try, it's just not happening for you. It's like this analogy of the fly trying to get out of the window, but it keeps bashing and banging its head against the window rather than finding the fresh air, and out it goes. So that's sort of what it feels like with us. When we're reaching that glass ceiling, we keep banging our head against it. We create more and more frustration, and the harder we try to bust through our money blocks with grit and determination, the worse it gets. So that's why we always need to go to the subconscious, because the subconscious is where it's automatic and there's a lot of ease and there's a lot of flow. Okay, so money blocks are a real thing. Money blocks are not woo, they're not mystical, they are psychological, they're a real thing. And interestingly, did you know that 75% of lottery winners lose all their money within the first 5 years? And this is because they have gone from 0 to 1 million without building up the familiarity of what it's like to have money. See, the mind loves what is familiar. And if having money is not familiar, it will take you back down to 0 again. So, having money, working with money, generating money, building a relationship with money is all about learning how money works. So it's almost like, if you win the lottery, it's almost like going from driving a Robin Reliant to driving a Ferrari. If you've never been coached, if you've never been taught how to manage the power of a Ferrari, you're not going to be able to manage the power that money has over you. So yeah, it's really about learning how money works and learning how it operates in the wider world, how it circulates, and the ethos and the energy with which we imbue money, just basically learning about it. So how would a money block manifest then in somebody's life? So there's many different ways that money blocks manifest, but for example, you might find that you are trying to save money, but as soon as it comes in, you just can't help yourself and you end up spending it on things that you don't really need. What else? It could be that you have money, and it could be that you are terrified of spending money. It could be that you hoard money. That hoarding money gives you a feeling of security. For some people, it's the other way around. For some people, spending money, it's not that it gives them a feeling of security. It just gives them that instant hit of pleasure, and they're looking for that pleasure. So in this sense, money is very emotional. Maybe it's that you're embarrassed about money. Maybe you're embarrassed about invoicing somebody. Maybe you're always in this deficit. Maybe you're always working and doing stuff for people, but you're not asking for the money to be remunerated for what you're doing. And so you're constantly always in this energy deficit. You're always expending energy and you're never receiving money energy. So maybe your money blocks come in the form of feeling jealous of other people who have money, or feeling angry with people who have money. That's not a good one, because that's it creates a very negative feeling inside of you around money. Maybe you constantly obsess about money. Maybe you always overthink money. Maybe you try to control money, or maybe you feel that money controls you, or money controls your thoughts and your feelings. So it's really weird how we sort of overthink about money, how we try to over control money, or maybe how we just bury our head in the sand and don't control it enough. Maybe you have a money block, or let me just say it differently. Maybe a money block will manifest into your life by you looking for the evidence of a lack of money everywhere. So maybe you are just sort of actively seeking out a lack of money, looking in all of the places where a lack of money would generally manifest, and maybe you keep putting your attention and your awareness on that. Maybe that's all that you see. So how do we know if we have a money block? Well, the thing is, we all do. We all have money blocks, and I sort of see it as a bit of a sliding scale. Some people are further along the kind of money freedom mindset than others. Some people are kind of really stuck in that scarcity mindset. Other people have this sort of free flowing idea with money. And there's this sort of real sliding scale that we can pop ourselves into. We can sort of like work out where we are on that sliding scale, but also then we can understand that we will morph up and down that sliding scale all through the day. Like sometimes I can feel much more abundant than other times all through the day. So it's about constantly tweaking, constantly micro calibrating where we are on that money mindset spectrum. So it's checking in with yourself on the daily. Yeah, looking out for those negative attitudes or those negative feelings towards money that pop up in every context of your life. Where do you get like a negative feeling around money? Is it when you go shopping? Is it when you go into the supermarket and look at things that you want but you can't afford? Rather than saying yes to those things energetically, like an energetic yes, you're saying an energetic no. And it's energy that speaks to the universe. It's the way that you feel about something that speaks to the universe rather than your actions. So I could look at a Ferrari and I could go, yes, that's it. That's what I want. That's, look at it. It's so gorgeous. Look at the craftsmanship. Look at the way that it looks. It's like a feast for my eyes. And I can imagine myself driving one. Or I could look at a Ferrari and go, oh, I'll never be able to afford that. God, look at that person that owns that Ferrari. What a twat. Or what an idiot. Or I bet he's some kind of drug dealer. So it's your attitude towards the stuff, the material stuff that you see, and how you say yes to it energetically or how you say no to it energetically. So I've got some reframes for you, but before I give you those reframes, I just want to talk about what money is and then talk to you about a couple of things to do with mindset. So what is money? And this is from Rob Moore. So money is simply a universal mechanism for exchange. Yeah, let me say that again. Money is simply a universal mechanism for exchange of value. And the reason it's around is because it seems to have been decided that money, paper money, or now it's probably digital, is the slickest, frictionless way of exchanging value. So in the past, other things would have been used to exchange value. So I know that sardines used to be used to exchange value, or salt used to be used to exchange value. And it's interesting, that is where the word salary comes from, salt. But money, like paper money or coin money or now digital money, seems to be the best because it doesn't corrode, it doesn't go bad like sardines, it sticks around for a very, very, very long time. And so money, that's all money is. It's a universal measurement of the value of goods and services, and it allows things to be traded backwards and forwards. It allows flow. It allows currency. Currency just means flow. So money in itself, what I'm getting at here is this idea that money in itself is neither good nor bad. It's just a way of exchanging value. So money in itself is neither good nor bad, but the people that use money have good intentions or not so good intentions. So it's not that money is the root of all evil, because evil is the root of all evil, right? If you have an evil intention, that's going to make the money that you use to act out your evil intention kind of bad money, sticky money, gluey money, heavy money. Yeah. So step one in calming or taming your money blocks is to really just try to remove the judgment around money and to just see it as this benign object which helps you to trade value. So it in itself is not good, it's not bad, it just is. Yeah. Okay, so little side note here. I want to take our understanding of money and translate it into the menopause, or what's happening around menopause. I think this is super, super interesting. So I said a minute ago that the word currency means flow. So the word currency comes from the Latin word currens, which means to flow. And so money flows. I've said this before in previous trainings, that money flows. Money moves. That's the point of money, for it to circulate. It's energy. Money is energy that flows, just like a river flows, and it cannot be created or destroyed. It just flows. It moves. It can only be transformed or transferred. So money has to move into our existence and then out of our existence. It's like the breath. It comes in and it goes out. So you want that sort of, to be equal. Now, thanks for the hearts, thanks for the likes. So here's the interesting link that I made. So during menopause, our physical blood flow is slowing down, it's stopping. And menopause itself is linked to the sacral chakra, right, just below the belly button, which is all about, the sacral chakra itself is all about flow. It's all about money. It's all about receptivity. It's about femininity and that kind of openness. Just the ability to flow. Now, that's why I believe there is a correlation between menopause and money, because both seem to be like a sacral chakra thing. And that is why, because of that diminishing flow at menopause, it sort of seems obvious to me that that's why there should be an amplification of our attitudes towards money at menopause. And that's why many of us at menopause and midlife are motivated, or it seems to be like we're dialing up our motivation to clear our money blocks and rewrite something new for ourselves. So I thought that was a really interesting correlation. Let me know what you think about that. And let me know if you think of anything else to do with that as well. And I'm sure that could be explored in a totally different, separate vein as well. Okay. So another thing to understand about money is that there are sort of two binary mindsets that you can adopt around money. And one is scarcity and the other is abundance. So many people have a bit of both in their mindset makeup. And it's important just to sort of understand where you're at in your day. Are you in scarcity around something, especially if it's a problem that you want to solve? Are you in scarcity around something, or are you in abundance around something? So, everywhere you look, you can see lack or you can see abundance. It is a choice. And sometimes you might need to work really, really hard at seeing the abundance in something. So I always remember, in Viktor Frankl's book, I can't remember the name of it, but I always think, look, if that person can see abundance in a concentration camp, then we have no excuse in our lives to not see abundance everywhere we go. So I think that's a really good thing to remember. If somebody can see abundance in the most horrific of human situations, which he did, and was able to really shift his mindset around the horrific situation that he was in, then we really have no excuses. So yeah, scarcity is the belief. So let's talk about scarcity. Let's talk about abundance. Scarcity is the belief that there is never enough. There's never enough to support me. I am not supported by life. Like, how do these beliefs really feel when you say them out loud? When I say them to you, how do they feel? Scarcity is the belief that there is never enough. Is that true? Is there never enough? I am never supported by life. Life is always a struggle. Life is always stressful. Money is really, really difficult to bring into my existence. Money comes in and it goes out just like that. It goes out like it just vaporizes. Everyone wants a piece of my money. So, in case you haven't felt that already, this scarcity mindset creates a lot of stress in your body. It activates your sympathetic nervous system. It creates stress, elevates your cortisol level. Your prefrontal cortex can sort of go offline a little bit. And you can't think clearly. So if you have a scarcity mindset, you're not going to be able to think logically. You're not going to be able to think clearly about your next move. You're certainly not going to be able to make heartfelt connections with people. And it's heartfelt connections with people that are really going to help you to elevate your business. Yeah. So when you can't think clearly, you can't make good decisions about money, what to do with your money, where to invest it, etc. So abundance, on the other hand, is the belief that there's always enough. There is always enough. If you look back at your life, can you recognize that you've always been supported? You're here now, you're existing, you've got food in the fridge, you've got water coming out of a tap. I know it's not like that for everyone, but we can try and see the abundance everywhere. So an abundance mindset relaxes the nervous system. It elevates hormones that are good for bonding, good for motivation, good for clarity. And so it enables you to make better decisions around money, and it enables you to feel more confident about life, enables you to feel more supported by life, and enables you to be able to create and curate relationships that are going to help you move to the next level. So everything is always, always, always about your attitude, whether positive or negative, and your ability to either see the abundance or the scarcity. It's really your choice. Okay. So when we look at how the mind works in relationship to money, it's quite interesting as well. So your mind, as we know, always loves the familiar. Your mind always moves you towards the familiar and rejects the unfamiliar. So it's a safety thing. It's designed to keep you alive. It's designed to stop you from exploring and moving outside of the city wall. So if having money is not familiar to you, there's going to be a feeling inside of you that doesn't want to do the things that you need to do to get money. There'll be a resistance to changing your beliefs around money. You'll be like, I want to hold on to my beliefs. I don't want to change my beliefs around money. Even if consciously you do want to change your beliefs around money, subconsciously there's always a little bit of resistance to changing the way that things are. There could be resistance to stretching yourself and asking for more money. There could be resistance to spending money on things that you need to spend in order to grow your business or to develop your relationships. So if you really want to change your money mindset, you need to move into the feeling of unfamiliarity. You need to move into the feeling of resistance and then reframe it to something positive rather than negative. So this is about focusing on what you're going to get rather than what you are giving up. So I've just bought a new iMac, which has cost me in the ballpark of £2,000. Now I could focus on the fact that I've just spent £2,000 and that my bank account is down £2,000, or I could choose to focus on what the new iMac is going to give me. It's going to give me space in my studio. It's going to give me a feeling of pleasure every time I come to work. It's going to give me a much more frictionless workflow. It's going to give me, it's just going to be much more speedier. It's going to give me a wider perspective than my little tiny laptop that I currently work on. So yeah, it's those are the gains that I'm choosing to focus on rather than, oh my God, I've just spent all this money. So yeah, where can you reframe expenditures in your life? Where can you move into discomfort, knowing that discomfort is good for you, and where can you reframe it? Okay, so here are 3 other reframes around money, some of which we've already touched on, but I wanted to go into them a little bit more. And they are again from Rob Moore, which I've sort of adapted to, my own flavour. So here's number 1. Your beliefs around money do not have to define you. Let me say that again. Your beliefs around money do not have to define you, in the same way that your experience of trauma doesn't have to define you. It's really about your decision to choose something different, to choose a different thought about a belief that you've been having for years and years and years, that you've been dragging through your life. So first, it's awareness. We need to become aware. We need to recognize these old limiting beliefs, this scarcity mindset, and then realize that we have a choice. We don't need to be stuck in them. So it's about choosing to look for the evidence of good rather than bad. Look for the people who do good things with their money rather than bad things with their money. So we currently live in a world where it's really hard to find the actual truth about things. There's a lot of false information. There's a lot of misinformation. There's a lot of bad facts in the world. And so it's often it's often difficult to know what is actually true. And so something just popped in there, but I can't see whose thing that was. Wait. Done. Hey, TJ. I'm having issues with action. I've been spending, but then not using the thing. Oh, okay. I see what you mean. Yeah. Let me come back to that in a minute, TJ. So where was I? I get so easily distracted here. So yeah, it's about choosing. Yeah, so we live in a world where, true facts, real facts are quite hard to find. So what I would say is this is about you curating information that is positive based on sources that you feel that you can trust, that are steeped in positivity rather than negativity. So what is it I just heard from Dr. Joe Dispenza? In the age of information, ignorance is a choice. And I really liked that, because I just thought, yeah, if there's a problem, if something is amiss, then we can go and look for a solution. But often we don't know if what we are looking at is true or not. And so that's the difficulty. But I think that, we can become inspired by people who have money. We can become inspired by people who do good things with their money. So that's what I'm saying. Look for that TED talk, look for that mindset money coach that's going to really help you to change your attitude towards money. Yeah, so I said here it would be a very sorry state of affairs if we weren't able to live our lives free from our past programming. And I choose to believe in hope rather than hopelessness. So if ever you get one of those old limiting beliefs coming up, click your fingers and recognize that you have a choice to change it. It's about choosing to recognize we all have that ability to choose a different way of looking at something. We have like a devil and an angel, and this might play into what you were saying, TJ, about you having issues with spending but they're not using the thing. The devil and the angel, like maybe there's a part of you that is distracting you away from it rather than helping you or enabling you to use the thing that you've bought. Without a little bit more information, I'm not sure if I can really give you a full picture. What is it that you've spent your money on, TJ, that you're not using? That would be good to know. Okay, so number 2, choose to see the good in money, not just the bad. So money has the potential for enabling so much good, so much transformation in the world. It can enable crime, or it can enable, placing or building homes for people that need homes, or furnishing towns with water or sanitation. It can be used for bad or it can be used for good. So it's important to remember that the good and bad things that we associate with money are actually the good and bad things that we associate with humanity. So remember, money in itself is neither good nor bad. It's simply a vehicle or a flow of movement. And it's humans that imbue it with meaning. So money is meaningless until you attach a meaning to it based on whatever it is that you want to believe. So what are you going to do with money? Have you got good intentions with what you want to do with it? I'm sure you do. I'm sure nobody in this group wants to set up a drug den or anything like that. So this is just about defining what you want to do with your money, what kind of an impact you want to make in the world, and then choosing to see the money that comes into your life as a force for good rather than something that you shouldn't have or something that you get uptight about. What have you said, TJ? Software, new tech gear. That's a different, that what you're talking about there is probably overwhelm. Correct me if I'm wrong. So the thing I can liken it to is Kajabi. So I purchased Kajabi a few months ago, and I really held off from making that purchase. So Kajabi is like, it's a website platform, it's an email platform, it's a what's it got? You can house your online courses on it, and you create all your lead pages, you create your marketing pipelines. It's all very automated, it's all very complicated, not particularly beginner level, but for me it's like the next up level. So I held off purchasing that for months. I was on their free trial for about 3 months, and then I purchased it and got myself into quite a bit of overwhelm with it, because as you can imagine, it's quite difficult to transfer, an old website or an old system that's actually been working for you for quite some time to a new system. And many times I felt like just throwing the towel in and going, okay, I know I've spent £1,000 on Kajabi, but I just don't know if I can handle it. So I don't know, TJ, if that is perhaps something that you're experiencing, like just because tech and software and all of those businesses see things can be quite overwhelming. So you just have to keep going, just got to walk down discomfort street with it and sit there and try and figure out how it all works and problem solve. And getting into business, it's not it's not going to be overwhelming. There's no real way to avoid overwhelm apart from, even with the best will in the world, even if you've got everything pre-planned and pre-structured and predefined, there's still going to be problems. There's still going to be issues and challenges that could potentially overwhelm you. So, yeah. Okay, the third reframe then is see money as a feeling rather than a thing. And, this is the crux of it, really. Money buys us comfort, it buys us security. When we don't have it, the potential there is to feel quite ashamed, embarrassed, fearful, especially fearful. So there is a lot of emotion attached to money, or the lack of it. And what we know to be true about the manifestation, about manifestation, is that the universe responds to your feelings, not your thoughts, even though your thoughts can affect your feelings. So the more you think negatively, the more you're going to feel negatively. But it's the feelings that is the vibration, that's the essence, that's the ephemeral stuff, that's the stuff that life is always reflecting back at you. So creating better feelings around money tends to create better expectations around money, and the experience of money as well. So when you have money, you feel safe, you feel secure, you feel abundant. When you don't have money, you feel insecure, you feel scared, you feel fearful, you feel claustrophobic, you feel trapped, you feel hopeless. So it's not a great place to be. But we know that whatever you feel, you get more of. So this is about trying to find ways to cultivate the feeling of having money. What does the feeling of having money give you? A feeling of gratitude, a feeling of freedom, a feeling of openness, a feeling of expandedness, a feeling of maybe popularity even, I don't know. So work out how you're going to feel when you have money, and then work out ways to try to cultivate that feeling before the money has come in. Big hint, music helps. Right? Generate that feeling of woohoo, yeah, I have money, I have freedom. And then from there, you take action. So it's always the energy first. Set yourself up in the right way at the beginning of your day. Set yourself up for freedom. That's why it's a great idea to go out in nature, because nature is space. When we're in space, we feel free. When we have money, we feel freedom as well. So that's why these sort of daily morning rituals can help really set our energetic alignment up for the rest of the day. And then we're in the flow state. And then we can start taking action from that place. Don't try to take action from a place of scarcity to try to make you feel better. It just doesn't work. It makes you feel more frustrated. You're like the fly butting your head against the glass to try and find freedom. I'm just wondering if my lack of hormones is causing this. Normally I dive right in. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you watched the beginning bit of the video about the sacral chakra and about how, that flow tends to be diminishing at menopause. And so maybe there's just, this lack of energy, this lack of motivation. And so I would just be with yourself. I would breathe into it and just tackle what you can. Like sometimes we have to go into the problem in order for us to find the motivation to then keep going. Often that motivation is not there right at the beginning. And it's only when we start to tackle the problem, even though we don't want to, even though we're not motivated to, once we start to tackle the problem and we start finding solutions, then we become more and more motivated to deal with that technology. That's kind of what I found with it anyway. It's like I'm not particularly motivated to sit on Kajabi, but I know that when I do, I'm going to gain clarity, and that clarity will then give me more motivation to keep going and to make more headway. Yeah, it's tough. It is tough. But you know, these are blocks which we can reframe as invitations. I always think a block is an invitation, really. If you can't do something, then you must. That's what Anthony Robbins said in one of the events that I went to. If you can't, you must. So it's like this weird thing's been happening to me recently with eating disorders. So I have done a few eating disorder clients in the past, and I've always found them to be really challenging. And so I sort of put it out there that I don't do eating disorder clients. And interestingly, I've had a few eating disorder clients actually wanting to work with me. And I realized and recognized that I had a block in working with eating disorder clients because I found them difficult. I found them really resistant, and I found it like hard to make that kind of quick, rapid transformation that I like to see in my clients, and I want them to feel that as well. So yeah, it's actually been really, really good for me to work with clients who previously I thought I couldn't work with. Yeah, if you can't, you must. Okay, so let's do a conclusion then. So what have we spoken about in this video? We have said that money blocks are created in childhood, and the only permanent way to change them and to reprogram them is really to use the subconscious mind. And that can be done with RTT, which utilizes and accesses the power of the subconscious mind. And it can be done using your conscious mind as well. And I actually do recommend you do a bit of both. So this, when you're using the conscious mind, this is about choosing to move into unfamiliar territory. Choosing to move into areas where you are not particularly motivated. We then spoke about money blocks and how they manifest in different forms and in different areas through our lives. And this is really about being aware of your feelings around money, your triggers, what triggers you, and then recognizing that you do have a choice. Recognizing that money blocks and negative attitudes towards money pop up everywhere. So look for them and reframe them. Then we spoke about this idea that money is simply a universal exchange of value, nothing more, nothing less. It's benign. And then really looking at the meaning that you attach to money is really what it's all about. And then looking for those positive indicators of where money is being used for a force for good, and then curating that information so that you're looking at that, you're feeding your mind, you're hypnotizing yourself with that kind of information that's going to work for you, not against you. We looked at the 2 money mindsets, scarcity and abundance. We looked at the 3 reframes. Your beliefs around money do not have to define you. We looked around this idea that choose to see the good in money, not just the bad, and see money as a feeling rather than a thing. Money flows. Get in with the flow of money. Allow yourself to flow. So it might be that at menopause, because the flow is stopping, you just need to use a little bit more choice power, willpower, determination to get up and move into the flow state until it becomes a habit that is more fully formed and that is much more familiar. Okay, so for those of you who are interested in using menopause and your midlife transition to really kickstart the cleansing process, the clearing process of getting rid of these money blocks so that you can live your life according to your own values, then I've got 2 suggestions for you. One of those is come and have some RTT with me. It's absolutely incredible for helping to clear those money blocks. I've worked with property investors, I have worked with yoga teachers, I have worked with somebody who owns an internet marketing company around their money blocks, helping them just to, get those light bulb moments, have those penny drop moments, because when you have those penny drop moments, you create an emotional leverage with which to change. You create an emotional boomph with which to help you to move yourself forward. So that's how RTT works. It's a 2-hour process that's done under hypnosis, designed to clear your blocks so that you can get freedom from them. And then we rewrite the rules, rewrite the programming, rewrite the imagery using powerful language, using a recording that you listen to for 30 days to help you fully rewire your mindset for abundance. Yay, that's what we want. So it's great. So if any of you are interested in that, it's £397 to work with me for a month. So you get RTT Plus support. And just hit me up, drop me a DM if you want a discovery call. And secondly, there's a free online workshop that's happening this week. Wednesday is fully booked, but Thursday I think is still free. And that's with my business coach, my business mentor called Kirsty. And she is running a free workshop called How to Confidently Start and Scale Your Wellness Business. So if you are in the wellness industry, then you're not going to want to miss out on this. So I took this masterclass last year and I signed up for her Wellness Entrepreneur Academy from that. But this year she's doing some extra special fast action bonuses, of which I am a part of. So you're not going to want to miss out on these. I would want these. I would sign up for these. So that's how excited I am about these. So in this free masterclass, you're going to learn the biggest wellness industry shifts, because old school practices no longer cut it. So, things like Google ads or Facebook ads don't work on their own. You need a kind of marriage of systems and strategies, which Kirsty is going to help you with. She's going to give you her short list of business growth strategies, including Insta stories, Insta reels, Facebook Live, podcasting, email, newsletters, things like that. And of course, it's very overwhelming. So she's going to tell you what's working and what's working in her business. And then number 3, she's going to let you know how and where to spend your time and money to ensure that you ditch the crippling overwhelm and the endless confusion by identifying your unique business blueprint so that you can set yourself up for success and move forward frictionless. This is my new word. I love it. Money like speed. So where there's friction, where there's resistance, money is not going to flow. That's why anything that helps life become more convenient, more stress-free, is probably likely going to generate money. So you have the opportunity to sign up to that masterclass. It's kirstykianifard.com/Sally I'm in, with no apostrophe between the I and the M. So that's kirstykianifard.com/Sally I'm in. So just to let you know, that is my own personal affiliate link. So I would really appreciate it if you didn't navigate away from that link, or if you did, you come back to it. Thank you. So that's it. That's it for entrepreneurship at menopause. If you want to carry on the discussion in the comments, of course, we can do that. There's always more to this stuff. But we just touched on a few things that were springing to my mind over this last 5 weeks. I hope you've enjoyed the 5-week series. And if you're watching in the Facebook group, all the videos in this entrepreneurship and menopause series are going to be uploaded to the Money Business Entrepreneurship unit. And if you're watching on YouTube, I'm going to post the links in the description so that you've got them. And if you're on Instagram, you just scroll through my grid and you will find them there. So next week, I'm going to be having a bit of a rest. I'm not going to be doing a Facebook Live next week. And then the week after that, I will be back fresh with some more exciting news for you, because I'm launching a new product that's going to help you with your hot flushes. It's going to help you with your libido, and it's going to help you with your brain fog. And I cannot wait to share these with you. So that's it from me. I will see you in 2 weeks' time. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye.